Despite President-elect Donald Trump's constant denial, there is a high chance that parts of Project 2025 will be realized during his second term in office. The campaign created Project 2025 as a detailed strategy for the upcoming Republican administration to shift the country towards conservative policies. The book is authored by former Trump administration officials who are likely to continue serving in his next term. This is what Project 2025 is and how it could change America during a Trump administration. Project 2025 is advocating for conservative policy changes in various areas of American life. Project 2025 intends to carry out large-scale deportations, politicize the federal government to grant the president power over the Justice Department, and eliminate entire federal agencies. It also outlines methods to incorporate Christian nationalism into government policy, such as advocating for a pornography ban and promoting policies that support marriage, work, motherhood, fatherhood, and nuclear families. Although Project 2025 is not officially part of the Trump campaign, it should be considered important as Trump has aligned himself with the conservative think tank and leaders who authored it during his first presidency, and it has seen members of his administration come and go regularly. Michael Strain, who heads economic policy studies at the Conservative American Enterprise Institute, said that Trump won't distribute the booklet to his cabinet on the first day and simply say, "Here you go." However, it demonstrates the actual objectives of significant individuals within Trump's circle. William Galston, who leads governance studies at the Brookings Institution, stated that this serves as a structured presentation of the Trumpist, conservative movement in terms of policy, personnel, and politics. What does Project 2025 contain? In the proposal, several important details are discussed, including limits on reproductive care and reductions in climate change protections. Turning the federal workforce into a political issue, rather than having impartial government employees handle policies concerning health, education, and climate, the executive branch would be stacked with an excessive number of Trump supporters, surpassing the usual amount of political appointees. The plan states that it is crucial to guarantee that departments and agencies possess strong teams of political staff. This implies that nearly all choices made by federal agencies could support a political motive, such as deciding on funding for Democratic-leaning constituencies. The project involves reducing funding for LGBTQ+ health programs, for instance. Project 2025, which involves cutting the Department of Education, would bring about significant alterations to public education by removing established federal programs for low-income and early education such as Head Start, and possibly shutting down the entire education department. The proposal suggests that federal education policy should be restricted and, in the end, the Federal Department of Education should be removed, handing over the authority to presidents to probe adversaries. Project 2025 aims to transfer the Justice Department, along with all its enforcement agencies like the FBI, under the direct supervision of the president. It demands a complete revamp of the FBI and grants the administration the ability to scrutinize investigations and reject those disapproved by the president. This could significantly diminish the autonomy of federal law enforcement organizations, which good governance specialists view as especially concerning given Trump's labeling of top Democrats as the internal enemy. Galston from Brookings stated that the Department of Justice and the FBI will face an intense attack. This will result in significant White House oversight of the DOJ and FBI. Project 2025 does not propose a nationwide abortion ban, but it does focus on limiting reproductive care, specifically abortion pills, and suggests that the next president promote a pro-life culture in the United States. This would be achieved by utilizing a law from the 1870s to charge individuals who send abortion pills through the mail, a method employed in over half of all abortions in the United States. The plan states that abortion pills are the most significant danger to unborn children in a post-Roe era. It suggests increasing the risk of making those who offer abortion services punishable by law by having the government monitor miscarriages, stillbirths, and abortions. According to its authors, this data is anonymous, and some of it is already gathered by the government from specific states. It also suggests increasing difficulty in obtaining insurance coverage for specific emergency contraceptive care, and advocates for the termination of federal government protections for military personnel and their families to access abortion care. The plan suggests that the leading health department of the country should go back to being called the Department of Life and should openly oppose the idea that abortion is considered health care. Cracking down on immigration. Project 2025 proposes establishing a fresh border patrol and immigration agency. It proposes reviving Trump's border wall, constructing camps for detaining children and families, and utilizing military personnel to deport millions of undocumented individuals, potentially impacting the U.S. economy significantly. The plan advocates for putting a stop to illegal immigration instead of just reducing it, and for sealing the border completely instead of just changing priorities, according to the plan. Cutting back on safeguards for climate change. Project 2025 aims to eliminate the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, responsible for weather predictions and monitoring climate change, labeling it as a key contributor to the climate change fear-mongering sector. It would expand drilling in the Arctic and close climate change divisions of the Environmental Protection Agency, as well as streamline the process for increasing fossil fuel production. According to Project 2025, transgender individuals are not permitted to serve in the military because gender dysphoria does not align with the requirements of military duty. The individual who wrote this section of the plan was in charge of the Defense Department during the final days of Trump's time in office, and he advised the Washington Post that compulsory military service should be carefully deliberated by the government. How Trump could implement it. Trump and his supporters are determined to place loyal individuals throughout the federal government in order to assist him in implementing his agenda or interpreting laws in innovative ways to enact significant alterations to federal policy. There is also a section on the website of the plan where individuals can upload their CVs. However, there are significant obstacles to accomplishing important tasks, even if Trump arrives in Washington next year with complete control of Congress. Trump seems to have disagreements with certain aspects of it, especially the limitations on reproductive health care. Some parts have been labeled as completely absurd and terrible, and his team has stated that Project 2025 does not reflect Trump's intentions. Additionally, certain concepts are not feasible or potentially against the law. Analysts are split on whether a president can use the civil workforce for political purposes to dismiss them when desired. The strategy involves deploying the military for large-scale deportations, a move that may violate the Constitution. Trump and his supporters could also utilize greater power and strength to accomplish their tasks. Throughout the campaign, Kevin Roberts, the president of the Heritage Foundation, characterized the nation as undergoing the Second American Revolution, which he believed could be without bloodshed if the left did not interfere. He praised Trump for winning the election on Wednesday and discussed collaborating on various issues. He expressed unity with the conservative movement in supporting Trump's agenda to secure the border, enforce laws, empower parents in education, boost manufacturing, prioritize families and children, and address the deep state. Despite shining a spotlight on Project 2025, Democrats still suffered a loss. Vice President Kamala Harris strategically emphasized Project 2025 during her campaign because polls indicated it was not well liked, and voters frequently mentioned the plans when expressing worries about another Trump presidency. Sometimes, the Trump campaign felt annoyed that the document even existed. A Trump advisor told the Post this summer that it doesn't make sense to write down all the controversial things you may be criticized for during a political campaign.